Somebody who called you and tell you, let us go to church. Who called you and asked you, let us go to my church.
Let's go to my church.
Yes.
Maybe for a crusade.
Yes.
Or a revival.
Then, when you get to his church, did he introduce Jesus to you? He only introduced his pastor to you. Then his pastor could be dangerous. His pastor could be a thief. His pastor could be the son or daughter of a retired police officer, or the son of a retired judge, or the son of a herbalist. Do you know for sure that this is church? Yes, your heart is your church.
The heart.
Taking me to redeem does not make me heavily bound. Taking me to mountain of fire does not make I will see God or I will go to heaven. Because the people there are just human beings like me. And the church member did not answer that day. To kill a first son in Nigeria. But in Nigeria back badum.
Yes, sir.
Church to one Nigeria badum. But once the church in Nigeria to badum, then Nigeria from around badum. Àìsàn tó ń ṣe Táíwò ló ń ṣe Kẹ́hìndé. So ká fi gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ̀. Òru politics yìí ń sìn. Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe tán. Ó fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀yà náà tó bọ́ síbẹ̀. Tó ń bá ṣe president, ọmọ ẹ̀ á ṣe governor Èkó. Then ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà tún ṣe senate president. Àwọn tó kù kádẹ̀ kẹnu sínú ká máa wòran. God does not live in church.
The cathedral.
But he was telling us the other day that I live in people's mind. When you are traveling from here to Ibadan, and you saw somebody on the road that is troubled, your mind will tell you, don't carry that person. Where he stood was dangerous. So let go. Then later to know that tomorrow, somebody who waited there to pick that man was robbed.
Jesus Christ.
But your church mind has told you there's no peace with that man, and that man cannot give you peace. Because when you look at the head of the market woman in Lagos,
yes, sir,
is the daughter of Tinubu. Then when you look at all the whole revenue collected, when they divided into three, one part is for Tinubu. So that means democracy for Tinubu and his family.
Okay, the democracy of the
yes, and when you look at all the people Obasanjo has given the time and season to rule, Morizimu, Atayu Jega, and all of them, they made name, and two, they made money. So this book, Revelation 2022, will tell you more about Adeboye. We tell you more about Chris Ayayilume. We tell you more about David Oyedepo. We tell you more about Prophet Marcus. We tell you more about the millionaires of Nigerians. And then the election we are expecting.
Well, it's another very wonderful, lovely day. Today, in the city of Lagos, we want to thank God for His mercy and His grace upon our life, especially in the brand new year 2022, as God has given us a new moment in the presence of the oracle himself, the prophet of the Almighty God. The prediction 2022 just came out. It was launched first Sunday of February, and eventually the publication is out, and we've been coming, and thank God this time around, today, 2nd of March, Ash Wednesday, year 2022, we are lucky to be in the presence of the Nostradamus of our time, in the person of Prophet Dr. MKO Tibetan. It is a privilege to have a chance to meet him today again as we review and look at what is in the book. Before the book came out, some of the predictions have already been specified and they've been revealed, and on the 1st of January we published a video, and some of the predictions happened instantaneously. For instance, unfortunately, the demise of the Olubadan of Ibadan was predicted in this book, and before it was published, the prediction came sharply 24 hours after the publication of the revelation. Today, we are before him after this wonderful Hash Wednesday service. Daddy, we are so very privileged to be with you, sir. I want to thank you for the time given to us, and we know it's not easy, but how do we describe the 2022 prediction book? There's a lot of revelation. The book looks very, it's very handy, and some of the fulfilled revelations are here. They all came handy, and it appears that you look much into politics and religion this time around. You are able to tell Nigerians that most of them might have been able to learn their lesson, and maybe the pastors are also getting to know themselves. And today, you can imagine that today is Pastor Adeboye's 80th birthday. When I look at it on Facebook, a lot of people cannot even comment, maybe because of the hungers in the land. But first and foremost, how do you describe this book now that came out? A lot of people have been asking, how do we get it, sir? With honor.
Thank you. God bless you, Benga Sabi.
Amen, sir.
It's not the handiwork of a human being.
Okay, you mean the book, sir?
Yeah, because when you look at the book, it's about 474 pages.
Yes, sir.
All put together in the middle of the night. So when other people are sleeping, the man said, wake up and take your pen. Just like Habakkuk 2. He said, pick up your pen, write it down and make it what? And make it happen. Then when you look at Habakkuk 4 and Habakkuk 5, and when you look at the book of Esther 3, verse 10, 11, 12,
yes, sir.
He said those that saw the first building of the house were thinking maybe the house they want to build now cannot be edified like the first one. While the youth were jubilating, then their fathers were crying. So the fact remains that the prediction 2022 is about human being.
About human being?
Yes. Because when you look at what they call church, I asked a question before the launching of the book.
Yes, sir.
Somebody who called you and tell you, let us go to church. Who called you and asked you, let us go to my church.
Let's go to my church.
Yes.
Maybe for a crusade.
Yes.
Or a revival.
Then, when you get to his church, did he introduce Jesus to you? He only introduced his pastor to you. Then his pastor could be dangerous. His pastor could be a thief. His pastor could be the son or daughter of a retired police officer, or the son of a retired judge, or the son of a herbalist. So automatically, he will introduce you and leave the place. Then, do you know for sure that this is church? Yes, your heart is your church.
The heart.
Taking me to redeem does not make me heavily bound. Taking me to mountain of fire does not make I will see God or I will go to heaven. Because the people there are just human beings like me. And the church member did not answer that day. Then I now threw another question. When did you get to the church?
Yes, sir.
And you met Mobi, you know, or you met Adeboye Oyedepo Abiara, Chris Oyahilume. They said they were busy remitting money to heaven.
Okay, you mean the bank in heaven?
Yes, that the money they have gathered for God. This is the weekend they wanted to remit it through him.
No, they call it kingdom investment.
No, there's nothing here concerned kingdom. So when you look at it, this is the money they use to do their upkeeping. And when you see any church where there's program, they want to build this, they want to build that, they want to do this, yes, go and check the contractors. Either be the relative of their wife or their old schoolmates. There's somebody who can give them money back by December.
As a remittance?
As a remittance, yes, sir. Then automatically, God does not live in church.
The cathedral.
But he was telling us the other day that I live in people's mind. When you are traveling from here to Ibadan, and you saw somebody on the road that is troubled, your mind will tell you, don't carry that person. Where he stood was dangerous. So let go. Then later to know that tomorrow, somebody who waited there to pick that man was robbed.
Jesus Christ.
But your church mind has told you there's no peace with that man, and that man cannot give you peace. So this book, Revelation 2022, will tell you more about Adeboye. Will tell you more about Christ Ayayilume. Will tell you more about David Oyedepo. Will tell you more about Prophet Marcus. Will tell you more about the millionaires of Nigerians. And then the election we are expecting. What are we expecting in the election? The one we did before, we didn't get anything. They said the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Yes. But we are not gaining.
Yes.
The government of some set of people. Because when you look at the head of the market woman in Lagos,
yes, sir,
is the daughter of Tinubu. Then when you look at all the whole revenue collected, when they divided into three, one part is for Tinubu. So that means democracy for Tinubu and his family.
Okay, the democracy of the
yes, and when you look at all the people Obasanjo has given the time and season to rule, Morizimu, Atayuru, and all of them, they made name, and two, they made money. And then they give money to judges and lawyers. Our election is not to finish and go home and relax. No, they made the lawyer rich. They made the masses remain poor and poor again. So for 2023, well, there may be election, there may be no election. Even they are going to shift it, is there? They may even say, no, they want to readjust one or two things. Because the money for the election is not on table. They have padded everything, they know how they're going to sell it themselves. And these are not the people who said, Eda Odibo, Abu Odibo, Atiwole. So what's the point? Why wasting the money? So that's what the revelation is about.
So we're looking at the book. In 2013, when I came here, that edition was specially dedicated to the late Fela Anukola Kuti. It dedicated that is a prophet who saw a lot despite his condition as a musician. But this one, you dedicated the book to Professor Stephen Adebanji Akintoye, a Nigerian-born historian academic, and you also dedicated the book to Chief Sunday Igboho, who is said to be the Gideon of our time. Then you also gave dedication to Professor Wole Soyinka. Then you also gave dedication to President Joe Biden of America. Then the late human rights lawyer and one of the best legal minds that came out from Africa, late Chief Gani Fawehinmi. Then you gave dedication to Chief Kensaruwiwa too, of blessed memory. And finally, to Mother Celestia Fumilayo Maria Tibetan, who happens to be your mom. So why did you dedicate it to a lot of people, especially Chief Banji Akintoye and all of them, including Wole Soyinka, Igboho, Gani Fawehinmi, Fela Anukola Kuti, Joe Biden, and Kensaruwiwa? Thank
you, sir. When you look at those names,
yes, sir,
you are not young when Saruwiwa was killed. He was fighting for human rights. Let's give power to these people. The mineral resources we get in this area, let the people benefit from it. Not for foreigners to be coming, to be putting their water into trouble.
Yes.
So then they said, no, they will not allow him. But they believe they can kill the truth, but they cannot. Then after that, Sunday Igboho spring up to fight the same cause. Fela fought that day. Yes, when you look at it again, it's the same Professor Banji Akintoye. He has been with Awolowo, we've been to all these people for many times. Then to today,
yes, sir,
they are still, nobody can murder sleep, and nobody can kill the truth, so they cannot kill the truth. So then we should give it to them. And then the mother that gave birth to the prophet. So that's not how you can forget your mother. Every day you'll be thinking about your mother. So that's why I gave, the Spirit said, give to these people. And let their name be immortalized.
So when we start about it, in chapter 5 on page 224, you said that the churches in Nigeria are terribly corrupt and cheating the people. In America, where there are gigantic companies, Netflix, Macy's, and all those companies, including the social media company. They do even in some Arab companies, they do give incentives of December in December that they call sales promo. People will come and buy on a half price, or they cut it in a very low price. But when we are going to even have it, when are we going to even have it in Nigeria? That the pastor will say that this month nobody should contribute money because we have enough. When they bought a land, they will contribute heavily. When they are building the land, they will contribute heavily. They charge and levy and collect tithe just like no man's business. Like Oliver Twist, the churches always demand for more. They tax the member from as little as paying the rent for a rented church apartment or hall, to buying a plot of land, putting a structure on it, commissioning the church, to furnishing it. Is a never-ending list of challenges. The founder started it, died, and the sons continue. The son died, and the grandson continue. When will it end? They will not be satisfied. Among all the general overseers and the pastors and the prophets, who has ever seen Christ before? Because he said in the Bible, where we have priests, we have the prophets under them. This very one, some of the Pentecostal churches hate to hear prophecy. They don't want to talk about prophecy. Then you now went into Pentecostal churches in Nigeria, and there are a lot of things you itemize, especially as regards to church budgeting, church funding, and revelation, and how the members have gone from financial dependency to moribund. Now, the message goes to one of the biggest among them, in person of the highly respected Pastor Matthew Ashimolu, and there's a message you gave him here. You said, Ashimolu need to be very careful. Look at a lot of people you are sending to early grave with all the programs you did in the last 5 to 10 years. Then you said you should be careful now that you have handed over the mantle of leadership to your son.
We're changing the policy of KRCC in a very major way. From this morning, we will no longer have only one resident pastor. So we'll have 2 resident pastors, resident pastor 1 and resident pastor 2. Pastor Yemisi have always been our resident pastor, so she'll be resident pastor 1. Our new resident pastor is Pastor Toby Ashimolowo. So if you are resident pastor 2, so he has to take some serious responsibility from now on. So I'm going to ask him to come so I can pray for him. Where's Mr. Ashimolowo? Come quick. These guys are retiring their father. Hey. Please stretch your hand towards him and ask for God's blessings on his life. Do you accept him as resident pastor too? Father in heaven, we thank you for your son. Thank you for your calling on his life, for the grace you've placed on him, and for the anointing you've placed on him. I speak blessing upon blessing, favor upon favor, grace upon grace. Anoint his lips, anoint his lips, open his eyes, use him for your glory.
See what the Lord will do for you. You gave a lot of prophecy about him here, that God didn't say that you said you want your son to be an engineer to come back. You want your son who's an engineer to come back to become pastor. So you want your son to be a geologist, to be a pilot, to come back again to be a pastor, because we are protecting a lot of things. Then you say politicians are bad. What about what you are doing again? Is it only because you have your ministry, your political party? Is the church a political party like APC, PDP, or SDP, or NRC? This is what is happening. Now, to Ashimolu, be very careful. The next 3 years, you have to wind up and tell people the truth. Look at Rayambonki and all these people. Then the university you are building, you are not using all this to entice God. You cannot settle God. So does it mean that this man cannot settle God? And most of them that are handing over, because it's not only Ashimolu, we also have Idepo handing over to his son, 2 sons, one in Maryland, in US, and one is here already, and a lot of them. So we have them here. What do you think the Lord is going to do between now?
Oyedepo said, is David Oyedepo ministry like Alausa ministry?
Ministry, sir.
Yes, he's free to do whatever he wants to do. It's not church. You know, he's a Muslim. He came into us, and he see that we are vulnerable. And he passed through, and he did all what he can do. Because he said, only saw Igidiri. Matthew 12. Can somebody read? Matthew 12 from verse 33.
sọ igi di rere èso rẹ̀ á sì di rere tàbí sọ igi di búburú èso rẹ̀ á sì di búburú nítorí nípa èso ni a fi mọ igi ẹ̀yin ọmọ paramọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀yin tí í ṣe ènìyàn búburú yóò ti ṣe lè sọ̀rọ̀ rere nítorí nínú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ohun inú ni ẹnu ń sọ ènìyàn rere láti inú ìṣúra rere ọkàn rẹ̀ ni ó máa ń mú ohun rere jáde wá àti ènìyàn búburú láti inú ìṣúra búburú ni ó ń mú ohun búburú jáde wá ṣùgbọ́n mo wí fún yín gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ wèrè tí ẹ̀yin sọ wọn ó jíyìn rẹ̀ ní ọjọ́ ìdájọ́ nítorí nípa ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ni a ó fi dá ọ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ni a ó fi dá ọ láre nípa ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ni a ó sì fi dá ọ lẹ́bi.
So automatically, it's just the same tree. How do you expect somebody to be taking mango throughout the whole year? So if Oyedepo died, Ashimolowo died, it's still the same the cockle brain. The bad brain will still be leading the church.
No, the video is there that he was handing over.
No, don't worry. This is what they are all Muslim. They met us in this Christendom. Ashimolowo is a Muslim. Oyedepo is a Muslim. Then even Mountain of Fire is a Muslim. They are free to do whatever they want to do. I didn't mean we have standard can. They will not be able to behave like this. I didn't mean we have a standard laid down law that govern Christendom. It will not be so. And to bá rí wọn ní kò sí bí àwọn ọmọ Eli ṣe jẹ tó ṣe kàwé tó.
Yes, sir.
Kò sí inú wọn tó fi joyè bíṣọ̀bù. It's in the Bible.
The children of Eli.
Wọ́n ṣe kàwé tó bọ́ ṣe popular tó. Then ti Samuel náà kò sí wọn tó fi joyè bíṣọ̀bù. It's not a family something. We allow God, the Holy Spirit to what? Okay, that means Baba Oshofa. Baba Oshofa ti ṣe sẹ̀lẹ̀ lọ́rùn ló kàn fi pé fọ́nà Oshofa ni náà. Okay, gbogbo wọn táwọn tó náà tó try yín sìn ó ti bọ́ kí wa. Àfọ́jú náà ní kí wá wa mọ́tò wá ń sìn. So automatically gbogbo ẹ̀. So kí la fẹ́ sọ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà? But tí Nàìjíríà bá gbádùn.
Yes, sir.
Church tó wà Nàìjíríà gbádùn. But wọ́n sì church Nàìjíríà ò ti gbádùn. Then Nàìjíríà fúnra rẹ̀ ò ní gbádùn. Àìsàn tó ń ṣe Táíwò ló ń ṣe Kẹ́hìndé. So ká fi gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ̀. Òru politics yìí ń sìn. Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe tán. Ó fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́ọ̀yà náà tó bọ́ síbẹ̀. Tó ń bá ṣe president, ọmọ ẹ̀ á ṣe governor Èkó. Then ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà tún ṣe senate president. Àwọn tó kù kádẹ̀ kẹnu sínú o ká máa wòran. Ó ti tán náà. But onírírò ní ti ènìyàn ti ṣe ìtọ́lọ́run. Then Proverbs 19. Then 1 King 3. Then Job 14. Job 17. They are not righteous. They are not righteous. Can you compare them with Job? Proverbs 19.
Alákàsí ń rìn nínú ìwà títọ́ rẹ̀. Ó sàn ju ẹni tí ó ń ṣe àrékérekè ní ètè rẹ̀ lọ, tí ó sì ń ṣe wèrè. Pẹ̀lúpẹ̀lú ọ̀kan láì ní ìmọ̀ kò dára, ẹni tí ó bá sì fi ẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ yára yóò ṣubú. Wèrè ènìyàn yí ọ̀nà rẹ̀ po, nígbà náà ni àyà rẹ̀ bínú sí Olúwa. Ọ̀rọ̀ fa ọ̀rẹ́ púpọ̀, ṣùgbọ́n tálákà di yíyà kúrò lọ́dọ̀ aládùúgbò rẹ̀. Ẹlẹ́rìí èké kì yóò lọ láì jìyà, àti ẹni tí ó sì ń ṣèké kì yóò mú un jẹ. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni yóò máa bẹ̀bẹ̀ ojú rere ọmọ aládé. Olúkúlùkù ènìyàn ni sì ń ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ ni tí ń tọ́ni tani ní ọ̀rẹ́. Gbogbo àwọn arákùnrin tálákà ni ń kórìíra rẹ̀. Mélòó mélòó ni àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ̀ yóò ha jìnnà sí i. Ó ń tẹ̀lé ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ṣùgbọ́n wọn kò sí. Ẹni tí ó gbọ́n ó fẹ́ ọkàn ara rẹ̀, ẹni tí ó pa òye mọ́ yóò rí rere. Ẹlẹ́rìí èké kì yóò lọ láì jìyà, ẹni tí ó sì ń ṣèké yóò ṣèké. Orin kò yẹ fún aṣiwèrè tàbí mélòó fún ìránṣẹ́ láti ṣe olórí àwọn ìjòyè. Ìmòye ènìyàn mú un lọ́ra àti bínú, ògo rẹ̀ sì ní láti ré ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kọjá.
Ó ti tán. Proverbs 16. Proverbs 16, 1-5.
Ìmúra àyà tí ènìyàn ní ṣùgbọ́n láti ọ̀dọ̀ Olúwa ni ìdáhùn ahọ́n. Gbogbo ọ̀nà ènìyàn ni ó mọ́ ní ojú ara rẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n Olúwa ni ó ń díwọ̀n ọkàn. Fi iṣẹ́ rẹ lé Olúwa lọ́wọ́, a ó sì fi ìdí ìrónú rẹ kalẹ̀. Olúwa ti ṣe ohun gbogbo fún ara rẹ̀ nítòótọ́, àní àwọn ènìyàn búburú fún ọjọ́ ibi. Olúkúlùkù ènìyàn tí ó gbéraga ní àyà, ìríra ni ní ojú Olúwa. Bí a tilẹ̀ fi ọwọ́ so ọwọ́, kì yóò wà láì jìyà. Nípa àánú àti òtítọ́, a bo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀, àti nípa ìbẹ̀rù olúwa ènìyàn á kúrò nínú ibi. Ní ìgbà tó ènìyàn bá wo olúwa, òun á mú àwọn ọ̀tá rẹ̀ pàápàá wà pẹ̀lú rẹ̀ ní àlàáfíà. Díẹ̀ pẹ̀lú òdodo ó sàn ju ọ̀rọ̀ ńlá lọ láìsí ẹ̀tọ́.
Ó ti tán. Láìsí kíni?
Ẹ̀tọ́.
Àwọn tó bá wọn ṣe láti ilẹ̀ tí wọ́n promise pé wọ́n máa fún ní nǹkan ṣé wọ́n fún wọn lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ wọn sí. Sòjọ́ mọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tó ti fowó church yẹn lọ school wọ́n ti ná millions lẹ́tọ́ padà wá fi wọ́n ṣe PA because kò sówó ń tà mọ́ wọn ò dẹ̀ lè ríṣẹ́ ìjọba wọ́n tó máa ṣe PA. Kádébóyè máa fẹ́ mọ́ ẹ̀ ṣe PA then ìyàwó ẹ̀ náà second in command then gbogbo òun yẹn ẹ̀sà church ti fail totally church ti fail during the regime of Adeboye Oyedepo Adebiara all these people church ti fail. So
before we even go to the politics 2023, because a lot of people want us to ask you about 2023, let's see find ourselves in the church. You see what is happening now between because the last time we spoke to you in December, we raised the issue of one apostle, John Suleiman, who has been having a lot of crises from sex scandal to fake miracle and a whole lot of atrocities in London, in America, in Nigeria.
Stop.
You know,
Stop.
You know. So just before yesterday or last week, we learned that this John Suleiman trying to silence the truth after bringing 20 videos down from Maureen Badijo's blog in London. Maureen Badijo is an independent human rights activist and a blogger and a researcher who has been able to expose a lot of dirty pastors in Nigeria and all over the world. Suleiman took her to court, and they voiced the day we were thanking God that some Nigerians rose to her demand and they wanted to help. They were able to raise an amount of money to fight Suleiman back. So I wanted to know the position of the Lord, because there are a lot of revelations from actresses, even Stephanie Otogo that he slept with in 2018 has come back to come and tell the world that she was gagged, that her mother was kidnapped, for her to come and appeal. So what do you think the Lord have for people like Suleiman? Because I've seen some of them here, even fulfilling all of them. I saw the predictions in this book. So is Suleiman going to win Maureen Badijo, or Maureen Badijo going to win Suleiman, sir?